ideas and submissions. This was a build around submission where someone asked me to pair Zoe, my favorite champion, and honestly, probably in contention for one of the best champions in the game there. I think she's in the discussion for best champion with things like Draven and Twisted Fate. 1/1 elusive, so evasive threat that generates some card advantage for you when she strikes the Nexus. She generates a super cool star chart that invokes a celestial card that costs 3 or less. Ton of great utility in these cards, from a free unit that lets you challenge something, to silences, to elusive cards hiding here behind my picture in the Trickster. And then Jinx is a discard payoff. So she levels when she sees your hand is empty. And then her level node says round start, draw an extra card. And then each round, the first time you empty your hand, create a super mega death rocket, which does 4 to the enemy Nexus and then 1 to all enemies. So I've paired Jinx with other cards from Targon that help us get our hand empty very quickly. So we've got things like Spacey Sketcher to kind of discard through our stuff. Things like Rummage and Zonite Urchin to help get our hand empty quickly. Things like Starry Scamp that play out literally for free if you have a Celestial. So let's go ahead and dive on into a few games with this one and see how it plays out today. Are any of the Celestial cards stinkers? There's some that are situationally worse than others, but basically all of them are useful in certain situations. And Invoke, for those that aren't familiar with the mechanic, you get to look at 3 cards from the condition that's met and pick one of them. So the odds of you getting something that's actually useless is pretty low, because usually one of the 3 things you're looking at will help you in some way. There's a lot of player agency with the mechanic in terms of what it enables. Mulligan these because I would love to find Starry Scamps to start, since we have Spacey Sketcher Jury Rig. Rats, never lucky. Opponent playing Misfortune Quinn here, so the Scouts aggressive deck. Honestly, Moonsilver sounds great here. So, I only have 1 Nightfall card in this deck, but these effects are good at helping with letting you invoke things, discard effects like Rummages and this. Was really hoping for a Danger Noodle here. It's probably an issue on their server side or on your browser gnome. Try and refresh. Nothing changed on my side. Yeah. I think I like Doggo as well.
Oh yeah, that's a pretty sparkle fly.
So pretty unfortunate to miss on the 0 cost thing, 2 invokes in a row. Usually you'll find Noodle, but that's what it is. So we'll get to Dog plus Moonsilver Goat this turn, potentially. Did you not realize you could mouse over, CJ? Yeah, the Runeterra overlay is great. Red Rover, let Valor come over. Tradesies. I think I want to play Jinx before I attack here. I guess Jinx before I attack is bad into them having the Scout that's a 2/4 that would be a 3/5 with Plaza. I think that's a worthwhile risk though, because I really need to push damage here. Anything other than the 2/4? Wow, that's really good for us.
You poor thing.
I mean, I suppose they're probably gonna murder Jinx next turn, right? I imagine this is probably like a Quinn.
Demacian needs heroes.
I'm gonna do this in the hopes we draw Pale Cascade.
Still heart, steady aim.
Anything else?
Just like hunting thresher geese.
I bear a message from. Oh, hey, what's that?
Yeah, I mean, we're also ahead on board and pressuring them Lampton, so like, we're not a card quality deck. We're kill them with cards in their hand.
That's far enough.
There.
You'll pay. We were peaceful once. No prey.
I should have played the goat there, right? So I could threaten to block this. Yeah.
The quiet of the woods. There's nothing like it. It's beautiful, isn't it?
I don't know if that's going to be good enough. We'll find out.
Host them. Mwah. Ben, scouting ahead. Hold nothing back. Where valor goes, victory follows. Valor.
The opponent's archetype doesn't usually play single combat. Obviously, there's no guarantee of that.
Oh, man. Just you and me, Fishbones. And them. I'm on a roll. Now it's a party. Where is it?
So close. Technically draw, get excited. Next turn,
In a long path to get.
he says before getting rallied and dying.
Just like hunting thresher geese. It's our time to shine, Valor.
Oh, if I pale before I Poro Cannon, I guarantee a rocket. So, yeah, that's true. I was expecting them to attack. My opponent made a mistake, and then I made a mistake back. I was expecting my opponent to attack with everything, killing us, and instead they did this, giving us a chance to generate a rocket. So in my head, I had committed to making the optimal play had they made an optimal play, and then I didn't readjust when they made a mistake. So had they attacked with everything like they should have, I would have needed to do what I did and then try and draw in to get excited for lethal. But because they messed up I had a guaranteed lethal with the rocket that I didn't readjust to doing. Talking about Runeterra board states and a guide about them. I think you might be confusing me with someone else, Captain Command. I don't ever remember talking about anything like that. There's our noodle chat.
Constellation. Sun this, moon that. Adults are boring, but they're pretty to paint.
Yeah, I'm supposed to discard the rubbish there, actually.
Ooh, that's new.
Rather than the Poro Cannon.
Gravity. Which side was upside again? Whichever way the paint drips, Zoe.
Nailed it.
Which side was upside again? Whichever way the paint drips, Zoe.
They have a scout here. We're probably dead. The 2-4 gets to eat 2 of our things.
You'll fight or you'll swim.
That's not quite as bad, but it's not great for us.
Fall into blood.
Hopefully they hook Zoe with this one. Playing Doggo to start next turn. I guess there's value in opening attacks, because then they can't play a second unit and then sharp sight to kill my Zoe. Yeah, let's get the guaranteed Zoe value here. To be fair, Lambton, the addition of Grand Plaza to the opponent's archetype did a good bit of variance reducing to it. Plaza is very similar to Misfortune in that it's a card that gives you something powerful to be doing with your draw.
No prey, no pay.
Crescent Strike?
Still heart, steady aim.
No, I don't think that's something I ever mentioned.
Brace!
Whatever. Zoe, I'm a serious artist now. I paint Sparkleflex.
You're covered.
Ooh, that's real good. Yeah, this matchup seems pretty impossible for this deck. Our units just we don't have enough pressure to get under them efficiently, and then our units get thoroughly outclassed by Plaza. We just get to eat everything that we have.
Can I paint you? Love ya.
Basically the same thing that happened in the last game. We got our opponent a little bit low, and then they stabilized her with Plaza eating all of our stuff. These are both going to level on their next turn. Zoe was at 7, I believe.
It's a long path to get there.
Not close to leveling. It's pretty rare that Zoe levels as early as 6.
Scouting ahead.
Right on!
Still heart, steady aim.
So I'm blocking with the goat here so we can generate a gem, because this lets us rummage for 2, which means we can hit get excited to kill this before she gets to do anything.
Spilled paint is just accidental art. Nothing stands in our way. All eyes on me.
Oh, am I dead because I blocked with the goat? I'm not dead, but I have to block with this now. Yeah, the goat being able to block fearsomes. I feel like we'd probably be able to race this matchup if they didn't play Plaza on 3, but they're like 60% to play Plaza on 3, and in those 60% of games, we probably just don't have a chance. Like even Misfortune, we have a chance to race a lot of the time. The fact that they just get to kill all of my slightly smaller units with it is makes it pretty difficult. Removes our ability to race because they get all profitable trades.
Reality is just your mind troubling under what it doesn't understand, silly.
Easy par on 1 against their Zoe. Whee! Jury rig. Rats. Probably bidding that to some peer.
What are you doing over there?
Hey, Dirty Digits, thanks for the sub gift. Afternoon. Open attacks here before they can play like a crowd favorite. I think there's any real reason to play Jinx out proactively here. Honestly, might just be playing this out as a 2-2 for 2. Let's go like 2-2 into Shadestalker.
I salute you!
Hey, Solari! Got a bit of moon rock for ya.
Unseen, unheard.
So, Rummage means I can level Jinx this turn, which is kind of sweet.
I stand for Noxus!
Jinx stands for Jinx. Durr.
Durr.
blood, glory!
You don't scare me.
Must we fight?
This exchange seems fine. You cannot dirty digits. You can gift 1 sub per month and cheer bits once per month to get a small shilling boost.
I bear a message from. Oh, hey, what's that? You know what? I'll give you to the Countess. Right that.
Ready to start blasting chat? Probably just opening attacks here.
Fate brings us together!
Morning, Abyssal. Daniel Harrison, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream. If you're having a wonderful Tuesday. Our deck feels much better when we're not having all of our units get killed by... When we're not having all of our units get killed by Plaza every turn. That's weird. It's really strange.
You're starting to bore me.
We're about to die to decisive maneuvers. Yep, that'll do, pig. By putting him on decisive, don't we just not block? So, a lot of those lists play 3 decimates and 2 decisives. So, they also often play the deal 3 to a unit, deal 3 to my dome. So, our block left us dead to decisive, but our not block left us dead to 5 to 6 cards. So, being dead to 2 to 3 is better than being dead to 5 to 6. So, we died in that instance, and it felt bad, but it's still the game theory optimal play. Honestly, this hand seems fine. Shue, thank you for the 13 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back.
What's it doing over there?
Decks that are actually good in Hidden Flame. So again, like your whole comment there about, so that's one, that's why large sample sizes are important, because large sample sizes remove bias like that. And 2, your statement there implies that is one of those egotistical ways that people use to imply that certain types of decks are hard and other types of decks are easy for bad players. And in general, stuff like that is largely bullshit. All decks have, especially in Runeterra, all decks have important decisions to make in them. Decks that are actually good are going to give you some amount of free wins to make up for the fact that you messed up in certain situations. Also, the Mobalytics tier list is based off of Plat, Diamond, and Masters only, is also accurate. But even if it wasn't, I'm into Charger here. We'll grab Charger, and now this is free, and I can go 2-1 into Charger this turn.
Show me how to portal first, remember? Anything else?
My deck is hard to play is a roundabout way to say your deck is easy to play, so anybody stupid can play it. It's a more polite way to be rude, basically. It's a politer way to phrase something that has a very rude connotation. I like offering to trade aggressively here, because not only am I pushing damage, but my opponent's a crowd favorite deck, so keeping their board small has advantage. Keeping their board small for things like Arena Battlecaster is also good for us. How close to leveling is Zoe? That's a good question. 6 out of 10. Pretty super cool star charted ones, right? Yeah, so I think I'm going to discard into this.
Pinky and Stomper playing catch with Zoe. I'm a serious artist now. I paint sparkle flies.
I just want to use this to gain some life. This puts her to 8, so we get to level her now. We have Doggo and Poro Cannon.
Can I paint you? I spilled.
I guess I'd rather play this and get the Nightfall there now, right? I'm gonna have these next turn anyways.
You brought back my favorite star.
And this is fleeting, so it's the perfect thing to discard to this.
In times of crisis, an aspect descends to herald the reshaping of worlds. Stand it.
Rules are meant to be broken.
Like buildings.
For people.
I think I'd rather play Shade Stalker than 2 1/1s here, because I want a higher toughness thing to be able to throw in front of Overwhelm units. This attack is too good to burn their mana and pass up, unfortunately. As much as I would love to burn their mana here. It does not, Night Stars. Holy gosh, that's brutal.
There.
Okay. Yeah, well, poop.
Invisible.
Should have taken the pass, chat. Should have taken the pass.
I guess we're really doing this.
Must we fight?
Lost the way fight. Yours is so good in their deck. Gonna be dead to a Decimate next turn. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. God bless. So I'm actually. Oh, they have an elusive blocker, anyways. I think I'm actually supposed to wait in case I draw a Rummage.
Only a fool would enter battle.
Gonna be just dead to this, right? Also dead to Decimate. Let's try 1 or 2 more, but so far this one feels like a bit of a miss. Feels like we're just getting thoroughly outclassed by the more established decks in the format in terms of card quality. It's fine. Would have liked a Zoe or a Spacey Sketcher to pair with Scamp, but it's not the worst. Nailed it.
And here's where I pick my constellation. Sun this, moon that. Adults are boring, but they're pretty to paint. Paint your feelings.
Do I take a pass here?
I got the goods.
The sun children deny our light.
Afternoon, Mortex.
Like this.
Just borrowing.
I mean, not to, at the risk of being too optimistic, Mortex, the various domestic terror groups and militias that had claimed they were going to do things said the 16th to the 20th, and we haven't seen anything bad happen yet, fingers crossed. So hopefully we're not going to experience anything awful tomorrow. So, if I Pale Cascade here without drawing, not only do I trade and take less damage, but I get to go Jinx into Poro Cannon, level Jinx, which sounds great. ATZ Anderson, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Sure.
Others.
Rules are made to be broken, like buildings or people. Big bones! We are doing it!
So, can't get a rocket this turn, but get to draw an extra card next turn. The list of 100 plus pardons should be out today.
Party!
You know, the list of 100 plus pardons from our Law and Order president. We'll see what types of people he pardons. Pardons in and of themselves aren't bad. The types of people getting them can be the bad thing. Yeah, the president can pardon people for federal crimes. It's one of the powers of the president of the United States. Well, poop.
Got me!
One girl wrecking crew.
Okay, it's not a terrible pickup.
I tried.
Depending on what they hook here, killing by elusives. Am I supposed to save this Pale Cascade to push damage or to narrow their board here? I think I want to narrow their board, so if I draw something with it that's meaningful, I can play it this turn. They're just not attacking with those. Okay, well, I guess we're saving it now. Yikes. Honestly, this game is such a good example of how awesome the Runeterra turn structure is. Like, we played 5 power on turn 1 this game, and it actually just wasn't enough, because doing something like that isn't just a death sentence like it is in other games, right? There's counterplay the way both players get to play every single turn. All right, and a control deck. If this feels bad, we'll probably be done with this one for the day.
Raise your weapon, Sunwing. Devotion to battle.
I think I play Goat pre-combat. So in the event that they have a sharp sight, playing Goat is better. If they play a 3-2 Daybreak, I'm in the exact same spot. If they like sharp sight, kill her, or hush, kill her, I still get to get in with the Goat. Like a pretty good exchange for us overall. They were at 8, worst neighbor. Charger, I probably just want Serpent because it's free. Charger's more damage. Second, Zoe being a Trouble Bubble actually is a pretty good draw against Plaza, because it means that they deploy one thing with Challenger next turn, we get to stun it, which is great.
First light illuminates the light.
Yeah, always opening attacks against Leona deck is also tends to be good. Okay.
Leo, found Lux yet?
Card 5, card 6, card 7, card 8, card 9, card 10. Could theoretically level this on turn 5. That would be kind of sick.
Forger, your work is unparalleled.
Blades bright, forged in solstice heat.
And now I can even level her in response to a single combat.
Discipline and conviction.
Wheel turns. Day becomes night.
Time to make colors.
Punish
It is a very fast Zoe level. You're not wrong.
I'm innocent. Idiots.
Oh no! I was thinking I blocked the second one again. This time I was thinking I could play this for free. That's actually not the case. Alright, you have a hush for my Zozo. We're still taking 5 here, and then hopefully Zoe Emblem paired with some elusives will drag us across the finish line here, even if they do have a way to answer her. Pokey Miguel, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel.
Take you.
Oh, dizzy.
Forger, your work is unparalleled.
Okay, so we're about to get single combated, right? That's what that means. Really? I'm so confused. They have a morning light they're gonna play here? Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Well, shoot.
Work against darkness.
Oh, they'd already played a card. Yeah, that's true. Morning light makes sense.
Behold the sun's holy light.
I'm doing well, Grip. And no problem. I always try and host smaller creators. Sign off. I'm not the biggest person around, but it doesn't cost me anything, and I like to help out folks where I can. We block with this, go to 4, we go Jinx into Shadestalker, and that's still not going to be enough, right? They're going back to 20. Gross. I just casual gain 16, go back to 20. So I have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Not at all.
You think I'm supposed to go for the Cascade there? I feel like that's asking to get got.
The sun's splendor revealed.
Well, shit. Just in yet. I got some jump blocks into a rebuild. This gives elusive again. That's true. They're only going to be at 19, chat. We're making headway. We're making headway.
Answer to me.
Lighten up. Whatever. And if it helps, stick your lip out and give them puppy eyes. Trust me. Reality is just your mind crumbling under what it doesn't understand, silly!
Mother Moon veiled.
Maybe I'm supposed to cantrip that and look for another unit to play that turn. Been having fun committing war crimes with Tebow's Edge of the Site. Thanks for all the great content. Thanks for the 4 months, Slothful. Alright, can Zoe connect? Behold the infinite, chat. For with this, anything is possible.
I got a present for you, but you gotta go fetch it!
Is that my asteroid belt?
And there's technically a comet, but Aesol has Spell Shield. Oh, I think it's just the Immortal Fire. So, like, that survives. Why do I want to kill Leona? Oh, because I don't want this to level. Yeah, I guess we can't beat leveled Aesol. Draw a card and see what we get. Draw a card and see what we get. If we would have hit a way to pop his spell shield, we could have done this there. Like, this would have been a get excited. So I think it's worth cantripping those Pale Cascades there to start.
How they stare.
we're kind of still in this game.
The dawn has arrived. Sunlight blinds.
We might not be winning this one. I actually was thinking the opposite. I think we have a good chance here. Remember, I have a Zoe emblem.
I don't remember you at all.
There's a good chance we have Hearthstone lethal next turn.
Hides no longer.
Yeah, I have to wait till after they attack to play Jinx. Yeah, I need the 1/1 to not die. I still get to go this and to level her, and she'll be elusive, right?
I'm on a roll.
Yeah, so opponents leveling their Space Dragon, but we leveled our Rocket Maniac here, and they're all elusive, so...
Wonder at my creations.
Rummage! Rummage!
Now they'll pay attention.
The teeth means they like you.
The teeth mean they like you. Be very quiet. We're hunting tricksters. You'll be shocked and amazed. Then you should be shocked and amazed. The opponent's archetype frequently plays Judgment. I think we've died at this point, right? Whee!
Be quiet. You must be very important.
Oh yeah. Even tried to play around the Judgment and couldn't. Told you. Told you. Their deck is Greed Incarnate, chat. This is the greediest deck in the format, and it's not close. We're on the 0 outer though, right? I get a rocket animation, but that's it.
My, how they stare.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up on this one for the day. This one felt like a pretty big miss. Overall, just like the total power level of what this was doing felt a little bit low. I think if you want to pair Zoe with these kind of discard cards to empty your hand quickly, I would recommend checking out the Targon's Peak discard deck that we have played a couple of times in the past. That was one of the decks that's been up on my Hoaglandia Highlights YouTube channel at various points. I think having the top end of Targon's Peak and Asol is a much better payoff for getting our hand empty quickly in these regions than what Jinx is. Jinx, this deck felt like the Jinx decks that we had spent a lot of time playing right when I first started playing Runeterra before the Jinx Draven deck became popular, where basically you do all this stuff to get your hand empty and then you play Jinx and Jinx dies and you just like have nothing to do then. Like you spent all these cards getting your hand empty for this payoff and our payoff was just pretty fragile. So basically, the way I had to construct this deck to maximize this card meant that when we didn't have this card, or when we had this card and then it died, we didn't have a lot to do. Yeah, I think that's an apt summary of why the other decks that play discard with Jinx work well. Like Crowd Favorite is a payoff for spewing your hand onto the board aside from Jinx, and this deck just doesn't really have another good payoff like that. I'm not really sure that you can play one. So I think if you want to play Zoe in a discard shell, I'd recommend the Targon's Peak Zoe deck that we had played as opposed to what this was trying to do. This one did not feel particularly reasonable. All right. At any rate, that's going to wrap up my Runeterra stuff for the afternoon. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out. If you're new, be sure to check out my 2 YouTube channels as well. I play a ton of different decks here on stream. While some of them are stinkers like that one, we had 2 other excellent decks today. And the best decks that I play every single day of the week get a highlight on my Hoaglandia Highlights channel. For the remainder of the stream today, we're going to be live for a couple more hours yet still. We're going to shift gears into my Witcher 3 playthrough. We started the Blood and Wine DLC yesterday, and I've been enjoying that. So we're gonna shift over to that. Thanks for the